Do you know the difference between the heart of a good person and the heart of a person that just performs a few good deeds? Hmm, something to think about, huh? Hi, I'm Terry. I like to be called the churn auntie. Last week we missed our closet conversation, but we're back this week. This week, closet conversation, we're going to talk about people who really have a good heart. The core of them is just a good human being versus the people who act like they good, but they wicked to the core. Okay? I want y'all to be able to share, like, subscribe, because this is our closet conversation. And like I say, I am Terry, and I like to be called the churn auntie. Go back to the first video. It'll tell you why I like to be called the churn auntie. I don't have any children biologically, but I have nieces and nephews that I call my children. Not children. Children. Okay? All right, so let's talk about this. I'm pretty sure you've experienced somebody who act like they are a good person to the core. But I made some notes. Let's talk about these character traits versus a moment of doing a good deed. A good person really acts with a core set of values. They operate in integrity. They operate in kindness and empathy, regardless of who's watching. Okay? Let's say that again. A good person is based off of their heart values, their core values, their integrity, and it doesn't matter who's watching them. They don't need recognition. They don't need no praise me, praise me. They don't need no cheerleading squad. They're just a good person to the core. Now, let's talk about that person who want to put on the front like they good, but they really ain't no good. They got to do it in front of somebody. They might do something kind every now and then, but it's really not a reflection of their core values, or it's not their consistent behavior. They're doing it to be seen. That's what I call the praise me folks. What is their true motivation for doing stuff? Again, they want to be seen. It might be they was pressured to do something and they just did it, or they need to feel good about themselves for that moment. It's not an act out of genuine kindness or love. It's not that they don't want an applause. The people who faking, they want you to clap for them, right? It's not motivated by compassion or a responsibility, which is the character, that motivation, that compassion, that integrity. That's that person's character. It's not a moment of them being good or doing something good. A good person try to do the right thing all the time. Even when it's hard, they still try to do good. No matter what the environment is, they doing good when nobody's watching. But that moment person, it's so sporadic. You don't know how they gonna act. And they really only gonna do something for you unless it benefits them. I'm gonna say that again. Y'all know them folks that's really only trying to do something for you unless it benefits them. And watch how those people treat other people, right? Watch how they treat folks who they think is beneath them or below them, and they don't even realize that they the ones that's the dirt. Okay? Watch how they treat other folks. They may treat other folks in a sense good for a moment, but they don't treat people overall kind. And their human interaction is cold. Think about it. Think about their public life and you not knowing what their private life is. Or is it somebody that you know their private life? You in the house with them. They all happy and go lucky and hipping everybody in the streets. When they get home, they nasty. It's all outdoors to you. Been there, done that, can write the book on it, and probably may write a book on it. Yeah. In the public, they looking like, oh, they're King Jeffrey Jaffa of Zamunda. But behind closed doors, demon straight from hell. Witch, warlock, hear me. The persona in that house is totally opposite of how they act in front of folks. Because they got to put on, as we call, put on for the city. They putting on for the city. They are not acting the same when they're not watched by other people, right? They're acting differently. But then in them streets, you the cream of the coffee. Well, cream in the coffee. Let me say that right. You the cream in the coffee, the sugar in the Kool-Aid. But in the house, they ready to spit you out. They act one way with one group of people and act another with another group of people. Just no consistent behavior whatsoever. A real deal Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Real deal mental illness. Bipolar, schizophrenia. There is something that's chemically imbalanced inside of them that makes them act inconsistent. And I'm not saying that in a joking manner, because I have family members that has dealt with mental illness. It's in my bloodline. So I am not making light of that. I'm very serious about that. Something inside is not fully connecting. And to me, it is demonic. I'm going to say that again. It is demonic. Something is ruling inside of them that is not the Spirit of God. Now, you know I'm going to give you a scripture, right? And then we about to go. Matthew 7, 16 through 20. And I'm going to bounce around, but I want you to go back and reference it. And I'm reading out of the NIV version. By the fruit, you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Thus, by the fruit, you would recognize them. This is one of those scriptures that people botch up all the time. All the time. But the reality is this. You're going to recognize these folks by the fruit that they bear. That is the real truth. And they may not be coming from a good fruit. They may not be a good fruit. The reality is, like the scripture say in the NIV version, a good tree cannot bear bad fruit. And a bad tree can't bear good fruit. Here's the truth. The core of them, their heart matter, that has to be transformed with the Lord. With the renewing of their mind. That heart has to be changed. They're not going to change by some deeds that they do and thinking they've done a good deed and put it on social media and just want people to praise them, praise them, praise them. That's not going to work in this season. God is judging the matters of our heart. Is your heart in the right place? Are you doing things from your heart with a heart of compassion and kindness or in love? Or are you doing things to be seen? Are you treating people kind and fairly with compassion and empathy? Or are you nasty? Think about it. You don't want to be that person that's one way one day and another way the other. And if you're dealing with people that you realize that you might have thought was a good person, but you realize, I got to go back and reconsider. This person just done a few good deeds, but they are not necessarily a good person. Listen, change your heart. Ask God to come into your heart and renew your heart, renew your mind, so you can become a better person. Have better interaction with human beings on this earth, because it's so much easier to be kind than to be nasty. It gives you joy when you really think about it, when you are kind, because that kindness come back to you. Why be nasty? That's going to cause sickness in your body. All kind of sickness will rise up because you're nasty. All kind of sickness rise up when you're vindictive and being manipulative. Yeah, that stonewalling, that gaslighting, those narcissistic behaviors. That's another conversation. But today, I just want to focus on you be able to decipher the difference between the person that is really a good person to the core of who they are, or this ain't a good tree right here. This bad fruit. And they just happen to do a good deed, but the fruit that's coming from that tree ain't no good. You be a good tree. Plant it that's producing good fruit and do it every day. All right, y'all. Y'all know I try to do this under 10 minutes. Y'all know it's unscripted, unedited. At some point, I think I'm going to try to edit it, and I may get dressed up, because today I'm going to go run errands, and I'm literally in a t-shirt and some leggings. I want to do this in a manner that you're able to receive, but I don't want to come off where it's just so scripted like everybody else podcast or blog. I want it to be real, okay? Now, I need to probably edit it some and, get better lighting. But that day will come. Until then, give yourself some grace. Put a smile on your face. This is Closet Conversation. I'm the Churn Auntie, and we will talk next time. Y'all have a good one.